In September 2015, Volkswagen found themselves under extreme scrutiny from the EPA and many of their consumers. They installed a deceit software onto many of their vehicles, their diesel vehicles, roughly 300,000 vehicles that were sold in the United States. This was done to detect testing equipment, emission testing equipment, and once the testing equipment was hooked up, then the car would change its emission levels to fool the testing machinery into passing the CO2 and the emission standards in particular states. Many of the states that were have high, strict EPA regulations as far as emissions, for instance, would be California and also Colorado, bigger cities like that, New York. And with this deceit device software that Volkswagen installed, they were able to bypass many of the emission regulations, policies, and regulations into the vehicles passing the test. Volkswagen, instead of designing a product that would be able to pass the emission test automatically by designing a efficient, environmentally sound vehicle, would have been the ethical choice of Volkswagen. But instead, Volkswagen and their engineers, two of their engineers and roughly 30 of their top senior executives chose to instead design a product to cheat the system. So without a check and balance system in place, these top level executives worked together with the software engineers to develop a program. One of the main things that is going to affect the company is they're going to lose a lot of consumer confidence in their products, as well as dealing with all the fines and other stricter regulations that are going to be imposed by the EPA. They chose not to do the right thing, and instead of being a manager and managing the company and finding ways to resolve the issues of the diesel vehicles not meeting the strict regulations as far as the EPA, they chose to go the wrong way. So the executives should have ensured that the strategies of the firm is able to align with the visions and the values of the company long term. Another key point that some of the top executives should have looked at would be to imply or enforce intolerance to unethical wrongdoings with the company, letting employees, executives know that if they are found performing unethical activities, that there will be repercussions for it. There should have been no reason that the unethical choices to deceive consumers and to be deceitful in the EPA regulations. Instead, they chose to tarnish, the few people in the company chose to tarnish the name of Volkswagen and to put Volkswagen in the headlines instead of just doing the right thing. If they would have taken the time and put as much effort into designing a vehicle, they would have increased their customer confidence, they would have increased their long-term sales, their profits or revenues, but the unethical choices of the top executives does not mean that the whole company is like that. It just means that there needs to be some more checks and balances to ensure that the right things are being done at all times. Some of the senior executives also need to know and to understand that they need to ensure that they're following the visions of the company and not just trying to fix one small thing. It's about the bigger picture, and there's no way to get away from regulations, especially when it comes to things that affect ozone, environmental issues, pollution. That's a big topic with everybody nowadays. So doing the right thing is going to get a company a lot further than trying to cut corners just to save a few dollars. Thank you.